54 and ran over a manhole sustaining damage to her vehicle. Submitted the claim to our insurance. Statewide Services is recommending denial of the claim made by Ms. Hunter. And so basically what this does is just shortens the statute of limitations for her to pursue further legal action to 6 months.
I make a motion to follow the recommendation from Statewide Services to deny the claim for Krista Hunter for damages to her vehicle.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, review and consider a policy governing the procedures and guidelines for the acquisition, transfer, and disposal of City of Wisconsin Rapids mass transit vehicles.
Okay. This is a policy just setting forth that with the way the grant funding is going, we're getting less and less for the purchase of new vehicles. In fact, I think we put in for 3 new vehicles in this last grant application when we got authorized from the state of Wisconsin for 1. So the mass transit manager, Jim Brown, is constantly kind of looking out there for good deals on the auction sites for vehicles that would suit the mass transit needs. And basically, and a lot of times with the auction is that by the time we'd have to go through the committee and council approval process, that auction should be closed. And basically what this is doing is just delegating the authority for city staff. That means mostly Cindy Schlichting, the senior accountant, to authorize purchase of mass transit vehicles on at an auction up to $4,000. Anything over $4,000 would come through the committee and council process. And basically this just line items out kind of the procedure for that to occur. And basically it would be where Jim Brown of River City's cabinets have to do due diligence to look at the vehicle, inspect it, kind of determine if it's a good value, and then make a written request to Cindy. She would review it and authorize the mass transit manager to bid up to a certain amount, not to exceed $4,000. So basically that's what this policy is governing.
So it would forego the debate we had about, 6-8 months ago over $1,000 on a car or something, right? Kind of thing.
Well, like I said, we're still looking at, what's the value of Blue Book or any other way to value the car, and making sure that, we here at the city staff are still going to do our due diligence to make sure it's a good value and a good buy. And like I said, it's only up to $4,000. So if we see something that we could take advantage of, that would be a good vehicle for the mass transit, we would do that.
Especially small amounts, I don't really see a reason, I guess.
Right.
Okay, I'll make a motion then to approve the policy governing the procedures and guidelines for the acquisition, transfer, and disposal of City of Wisconsin Rapids mass transit vehicles.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 4, consider a request to allow the Director of Public Works to apply for an ATC Transmission Company $5,000 Community Planting Program grant.
So this is a urban forestry grant. There's no match required. Essentially, the ATC recognizes that their transmission lines aren't compatible with tall trees, and they recognize the value of that and have a program out there, especially with our desires to improve our urban forest and be responsible and replant, especially with the number of EAB infected trees. Thought this would be a good opportunity, and hence the request.
Make a motion to allow the Director of Public Works to apply for the ATC Transmission Company $5,000 Community Planning Program grant, recognizing there is no match needed.
Correct.
I'll second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, consider approval of a license agreement with Wisconsin Rapids Public Schools for their use of the detention pond area at the corner of Highway 54 and County Trunk W near the compost site and BMX track for school curriculum activities.
And the school district approached the city about this. They presently do some kind of education there, and it's my understanding that their science and agricultural department would like to use that area for water quality assessment, habitat assessment, and identification and diversity indexes. And they, I suggested that they get a license to do that. It wouldn't be exclusively their area, it would just be for these curriculum activities. They are asking for permission to, it might just be a small locked storage area, or it could actually be a pavilion that they would build on the southeast side of the pond. But that would have to be approved by the Community Development Department and Department of Public Works to make sure that it's something that we would want at that location. This license can be terminated at 45 days written notice. So the area could be used, but it could be open to the public if the city so chose to. I think they're going to put a dock in there also, but we haven't really determined to what extent that we would, allow the public to be there at this time.
There's no issue with liability.
No. No issues with liability or allowing this limited use.
So no reason not to approve it?
Right, I would recommend approval.
If they gotta put anything up, they gotta go through the permit process anyhow, right?
Right. And they would have to remove it if we wanted them to remove it, if we, had a buyer for that land, let's say, or something like that.
I make a motion to approve a license agreement with Wisconsin Rapids Public Schools for the use of the detention pond area at the corner of Highway 54 and County Truck W, pair near the compost site and BMX track pair for school curriculum activities.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, consider a resolution authorizing the execution of a trial agreement with Solaris to provide public Wi-Fi service to veterans in Mead Rapids View parks.
So this item has appeared before you the previous month. At this point, the terms of which they set forth proposal are unchanged. I know there was a question about whether or not they'd be willing to improve or sweeten their deal a little bit for more activations per month or per week, and they declined to do so. It is a pilot, it's a trial agreement, and so I feel like it's a 1-year deal that we really want some data on what the demand will look like. It wasn't an issue that I received really any commentary or feedback from the public from, and I don't know if you guys have received anything on it, but I think it's an intriguing, concept. I like the idea that it's going to provide an extension of free access, like places like our library and things, beyond the business hours. So, there is some benefit, but in a perfect world, I'd love to see them do more, and I just don't think they're going to do it. And based on whatever data we're going to collect after this year, I think we'd be in a better position potentially to negotiate something like that for next year, or potentially look at another provider for providing that service. So I think we've got a few options there, and we're in a good position on it. It doesn't cost us anything financially to do, and I guess those would be my comments on it.
Solaris is putting everything in, I see, so.
They have put everything in.
They have already, okay.
They've been working with Water and Light about installing stuff on poles that they weren't really sure. They didn't really know how they were going to accomplish it, so they've been playing with it for quite a while, and ultimately they figured out they could do it, and it just was like, well, then we need to get some agreement to. You're using our people in our parks. We should probably get something in writing. So it isn't. I don't think it's turned on. I mean, it's there. It's just not been activated.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the execution of a trial agreement with SLARE to provide public Wi-Fi service to veterans in New Rapids View Parks.
I'll second. Motion and a second to approve the trial agreement. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, consider renewal of the taxi cab license issued to Chris Wickersham doing business as Rapids Quick Cab.
As far as a recommendation, Chris is learned to work better with me as far as our relationship, because he used to be very abrasive. He had started in Point and Plover to work, and I'm not sure if they revoked those agreements, or he just didn't find it profitable to go over there because he's only got 2 vehicles. But he's apparently not working in Point and Plover anymore. On social media, there is a Facebook page to boycott Rapids Quick Cab, so that's certainly not working out in his favor. However, he has been working well with me and met all the requirements that he needs to meet, so I would recommend approval.
He went from 1 vehicle to 2. I mean, we only had 1 vehicle last year.
Yeah, he did increase his fleet after initially getting the contract, but then that required him to get a commercial property, which he does have. I do have a copy of the lease. We had one issue earlier this year because his liability insurance was going to expire, and I let him know via mail, because I didn't have an email address or anything at that time. Let him know via mail, and he never responded, so I was like, well, that's not good. And then he actually had moved, so then we had quite the conversation, but he ended up getting the insurance in on time, so. But he seems to be doing okay business-wise.
I see him every night in vehicles.
Although he is decreasing his hours. He used to be 24/7, and now he's going to go scale that back. I think maybe just that didn't want to keep picking up people at bar time every night of the week, because I know he doesn't have that many drivers, and I think most of them are working the day.
So the circumstances behind the boycott or whatever you said is nothing the city needs to be concerned about.
I don't think so. I mean, I think Chris just he has personality to him, and I think sometimes just he has some confrontations with people, and they keep grinding the axe for a while. But he has, from the first time I've met him to now, he's certainly became a lot easier to work with.
I haven't heard anything negative.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the people who utilize the cab, I see them in my apartment complex off of North. They seem to like it. I mean, I forgot, he used to have different rates, but he changed his rate schedule, and it's $5 for anywhere Rapids to Rapids. As long as you're in the city limits, it's just a $5 flat fee. So I'm sure people are enjoying that. If you're just going to, got to go to Aspirus for an appointment or something, and spend your $10 and go there and back.
Make a motion to renewal of the taxi cab license issued to Chris Wickersham doing business as Rapids Quick Cab.
Second that?
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, beverage operator license applications. You've reviewed them, except maybe Greg hasn't.
No denials.
No denials.
Waiting for class forms.
You have to be, a thing for denial would be they would deny your application if you had several drinking offenses, several disorderly conducts or something, you know, like,
Some pretty serious.
yeah, problems as
Related
like,
to-
related to being a beverage operator, you know, maybe serving minors, you know, a couple, too
Mhm.
many, you know, more than once.
Yeah, we discussed an issue last month, I think.
Yeah, there was the one, there was a sting, and that wasn't sting, it was just kids got in the bar and
Yeah.
got served. Did have a,
Got a lot of work.
had a report handed into my office about an operator who was passed out behind a bar this, in May. So, that's on file for now.
Mr. Hepp, what do you think?
I'll make a motion to accept are they both of these? We're doing both?
Yeah, you can do the,
I'll make a motion to accept the renewal applications and the new applicants for beverage operator license as presented.
I'll second. Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, audit of the bills.
I'll make a motion to accept the audit of the bills, check numbers 067633 through 067975, and manual checks 099263 through 099291.
Get that.
I'll second. Motion and second to approve the bills, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 10, set next meeting date.
due to July 4th holiday falling on the first Tuesday.
Well, and I think we're just gonna continue this as a,
Yeah, we went back and forth.
yeah, just so that, you know, we know, so, but, yeah, obviously the next, the first Tuesday is July 4th. I don't think anyone wants to be here
No,
on
probably
July
not.
1st, so I recommend that we set the regular standing July Finance Committee meeting for July 11th at 5 PM in the first floor conference room.
Do we need a motion for that?
No, I think we just note it in the minutes,
Yeah.
just so everyone
Okay.
don't need a motion.
When is that, July 11th?
You'll have to do the agenda because I'll be out of the country the week before.
Does
So you
the
want to
second Tuesday work pretty well for
I like
staff?
I like the second Tuesday just because it affords us a little bit, you know, between the last council meeting, a little bit more time for staff to kind of.
That's why I kind of moved in there when I was here.
Yeah, I know we went back and forth. I don't have a problem keeping it the second Tuesday. I don't think.
July 11th at 5 o'clock.
5. Okay, then. Last
To adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned.